This is why we yell, "Hey bear!" Well, I thought I'd give you a little intro on this one. 4 of us had planned on hiking the North Boundary Trail a few days ago. 9 days on the trail, it would have been a great hike. And then about a month ago, I got an email from the Jasper Park office telling me that the bridge over Twin Tree Creek was closed, probably due to flooding, and that it was illegal to try and cross that bridge and subject to up to a $25,000 fine by the park superintendent. I'd also read that a woman had drowned there years ago trying to cross the creek in that spot, probably before they had a bridge in place. So I started looking for an alternative and decided to hike the South Boundary Trail. So tomorrow, a friend and I will drive to Jasper National Park. We'll leave our vehicle in a parking lot just off the Icefields Parkway, Highway 93, and then take a 3-hour taxi ride up past the town of Jasper, east to almost the town of Hinton, then south to the eastern trailhead just outside of Jasper National Park. So a 3-hour taxi ride. The theme song from Gilligan's Island comes to mind. A 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour.
There's no light at all. So I take it the big trucks are driving across here.
Yeah, that used to be train and those little bits of track. Just hope it's the right route, so we don't have to turn around.
All right, we are here, as the sign says, and today we're going to hike through Cardinal or Rocky Pass and then down to Medicine Tent Campground for tonight. And then through the week, we're going to walk the valley and up over South-esque Cairn Pass. Tomorrow night, Cairn Pass Campground, Cairn River Campground the following night, and then over to the smaller map. From Cairn River, we're going to pass South-esque Camp to Isaac Creek Campground, and then the next day pass Arrête to Brazeau Lake campsite, and then the last night on the trail will be at a campground called Waterfalls, which is right about here, and then we're going to hike out to the vehicle on the Icefields Parkway. So it's Sunday afternoon. It's actually just raining a bit. We're at the trailhead a little bit earlier than we thought we might get here, so we're just going to hang out for a few minutes and then we're going to start the hike. I'm here with my buddy Trent, and we're here all week. Try the meatloaf. So we're just coming up on the where the trail veers off to the left. It's about half an hour of walking from the trailhead. You can see the diamond marker up ahead, and the trail goes through these boulders. So the road in was getting a little bit greasy from the rain, so hopefully this will be better to walk on. Nice little meadow that we've broken out into. Straight ahead is Cardinal Pass, Rocky Pass, whatever you want to call it today. And the sun is trying to break out. The weather forecast that I saw had a kind of an unsettled day today. A little bit of rain, a little bit of sun, so hopefully it won't be too bad. We've reached the switchbacks heading down to the Cardinal River, and then I think we're going to have to cross the river. Then begins the climb up over and through Cardinal Pass. That'll be the Jasper National Park boundary, the east boundary. We're on the climb up to Cardinal Pass, and we're getting there, we're getting nearer. The sky's getting lower through the trees, so wow. That kind of sums it up. Cardinal Pass. So we're getting closer to the actual boundary of Jasper National Park. Haven't seen the sign yet, but I think we're getting close. Beautiful, beautiful colors. We're getting into mid-September now, so everything's changing. I see a sign up ahead. That'll be the Jasper Park boundary. Well, I think the rain is moving off now, just like the forecast said. Rain on and off all afternoon, and then clearing about 6:30, I think it said, and it's about 6 o'clock now. So we're heading down into the Medicine Tent River Valley and our campsite for tonight. Well, looks like another little up before the end of the day. And then I think we'll head down to the campsite. This is the junction with the South Boundary Trail. So we've officially reached the South Boundary Trail. Came in from Rocky Pass. And I think we have about 150 meters to go to Medicine Tent campsite. We have arrived at the campsite. Looks like somebody else is here tonight, so we'll be sharing the campsite right along the Medicine Tent River. So we've happened into the lap of luxury here with our new buddies from Edmonton. They arrived before we did, of course, and got set up. And yeah, we got a nice fire going. We're just putting water on the stove to boil for dinner, and this might be an early night. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. The weather is just on and off, so we're not sure if it's going to rain anymore or not. Hopefully it won't. Yeah. Well, we're going to do a wrap on day one. Nice ending to the day. Had a great ride from Pebocton Creek Trailhead over through Jasper and then over to Rocky Pass Trailhead with Jeff from Sundog Tours. So thanks, Jeff. Tomorrow we'll head up through La Grace Campground and then up and over Cairn Pass. And about an hour after that we should hit Cairn Pass Campground. So a longer day tomorrow. I think it's about 20K. It's a gradual climb, I think, up over the pass. So hopefully the weather will cooperate. So we'll call it a night and we'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning, day two, Monday morning. It was a cool night. I woke up a few times through the night. A little bit of ice crystals on the tent this morning. But I've read comments that it's not a great campsite, but it's a nice spot right by the river. Overall, yeah, I enjoyed it. There is no outhouse here at the Medicine Tent campground. I just thought I'd show you this. This is the, we'll call it a pole with a hole. So basically you just hang your cute little butt over the log and do your thing.
Well, we just geared up here. Was thinking of just picking up the camera and showing our nice dry tent pad area from last night compared to everything wet. It's a nice site overlooking the river a little further back. Our neighbors up there. Great morning for hiking.
Off to La Grace. Is that a bear scratch?
I think it is.
This is a tributary stream coming down into the Medicine Tent River. So it's a chilly start to the morning. This is about 1 kilometer or so from the campsite. This looks like a spot where the river has wiped out the trail from the floods back in 2013. We're gonna have to find where the trail resumes, somewhere up ahead there. Watch for cairns. So here's a good example. Just you're coming through the rocks here, and there's cairns. Just watch for cairns. And then there's another one here. And then there's another one up ahead, which I think is where the trail resumed from before the floods. This is a sign that we're nearing the warden cabin along the medicine tent. So we'll stop at the cabin, I think, for a short break. Looks like about 52 Fahrenheit on the front porch. And what a view from the front porch. So once again, watch for cairns. So we've come to a wide gravel flat here, and it looks like the trail just slants across there past the cairns. So we're just coming up to La Grace campground. We're going to stop here for a few minutes, a little bit of a lunch break, and then we're going to climb up to Cairn Pass this afternoon. The trail literally runs right through this campground. We decided to get the tent out and put it on the horse rail over there for a few minutes while we're snacking. It's still wet from this morning. So Baptiste Le Grace was a guide in the Old Northwest. He became the Earl of South Esk's guide when the Earl and his crew came through here. And he was also a guide for the James Sinclair expedition to the Oregon Territory and also on the Palliser expedition. There's some landscaping for you. People would pay money for that. That's about 4 feet high and about 8 feet long. This is Medicine Tent Lakes. We're going to take a little 5-minute break, maybe 10. Still on our way up to Cairn Pass. Can't remember the term or the name for these guys. I believe it's from frost heaving. Well, we have reached Cairn Pass. Cairn Pass, 2,250 meters, the highest point on the south boundary trail. So there's a cairn up there to the west, and story goes that back in 1859, James Carnegie, the 9th Earl of South Esk, traveled to the area from his native Scotland, and he and his guides climbed up there and erected a large cairn. It's about 6 or 8 feet tall, I think. And that was back in 1859. And then in 2009, his great-great-grandson, the 13th Earl of South Esk, traveled to the pass and climbed up there and stood beside the cairn that his great-great-grandfather 150 years before had built. So pretty cool. One last view of Cairn Pass before we head further south down to Cairn Pass campsite. We are not lingering long here. It's +5 Celsius, so I don't know what that'd be, 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and it is breezy, so pretty harsh environment up here, but still beautiful nonetheless. The colors are fantastic too at this time of year. Trent and I just saw another cairn, or another rock pile, but that one's to the left of the one we saw, so I don't honestly know where exactly it is, which cairn. Looks like there's 2 of them up there. Anyway, I still love the story. I think that's pretty cool. We're making our way now down to Cairn Pass campsite, and it's early evening, so the colors are beautiful here. We have arrived, Cairn Pass campsite. This is really nice. This is a hiker horse camp. Lots of room. And yeah, it looks really nice here. So we'll get the tent set up and supper going, and then maybe a little campfire. I just wanted to show you around a bit before we lose daylight. This is the tent set up. So Trent and I decided to share our 6 Moon Designs Lunar Duo. We've used this tent for 10 or 12 years on a bunch of our hikes. So we're using that on this hike. And all kinds of antlers here, pretty amazing, huge. Trent's getting ready to start a fire. We're gonna get dinner going right away. This is one of the larger fire pits, I think because it's a hiker horse campsite. Just a real quick wrap on day 2. Daylight's fading fast. Dinner's just about ready. There were some amazing views, great views up at Medicine Tent Lakes, and then of course up at Cairn Pass. We're now at Cairn Pass Campground, and tomorrow we head further south to Cairn River. We'll see you in the morning. Good morning, it's day 3, Tuesday morning, and we have slept in. We're not going to say what time we slept in till it's embarrassing. We woke up to the sounds of a thump, 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 and then we realized it was pine cones coming down from a tree, so there was a squirrel up in this tree. And he was busy this morning. Anyway, it's a beautiful morning. It's cold. It's probably about +3 or 4 right now. So we'll get breakfast going and keep moving. Thought I'd show you the privy before we get going. This is a long walk up from the campsite. And sometimes you get a nice view from these things, but not much today. This is a nice view of the Cairn River Valley. We're descending. Another great day. It's 10 degrees Celsius right now, about 50 Fahrenheit. This is right on the side of the trail. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it looks like just a little bit of grizzly bear diggings. This is a cave a ways up on the west side on this ridge, up above Cairn River Valley. I'm really enjoying the walk through the Cairn River Valley this morning. It's really nice. What I like is that the trail is not in the bottom of the valley itself. It's kind of up on the left side or on the east side, and so We're getting some nice views here of not only the valley itself, but the floor of the valley, and I like it. It's a good walk right now. This is the Cairn River, and from my notes, what we're going to do, we're going to go down along the left side of it. We're not going to ford it. We're going to stay on the left side, and we're looking for a cairn. We're looking for a large rock with small rocks on it. And that's where it is, right there. So we have to aim for that. And then the trail reappears over there. So the trail would have got washed out in the floods of 2013. Okay, I'm shooting back to the north from where we've come. You can see there's a yellow marker on the tree up there. And so we've come from there. And there was a little cairn here. And we're going to continue now on the trail. I put some orange flagging on this tree. There's that larger rock up ahead there, that boulder with small stones on it. So I think as long as you stay on the left side, you're okay. And I think from my notes we have to do this again in a little bit. So we've come from back there. We went into the trees a little bit, but just for 20 meters maybe. And now we've come up. You can see a cairn up ahead here. That ain't horse poop. Okay, here's another spot along the Cairn River. So you just, when you come to here, you can watch for little cairns on the side. We noticed this white rock here from back there 100 meters away, so this is what to aim for. The trail comes right by it. So this is a crossing of the Cairn River. You can see the yellow diamond marker on the tree there for northbound hikers. So we crossed about 50 meters from here. Okay, that was the first ford to the west side of the river. Now we're going to ford over to the east side. You can see the cairn over there. And then I believe there's another ford, probably in about 25 meters, of a tributary stream that comes down from the west, or from the east I should say, and then we'll be back on the trail again. The trail gets away from the river a bit. We've come up into the trees, and we will end up down by the river again shortly, and then we'll ford it over to the west side and continue on. Okay, we've come to another crossing of the Cairn River. There's a yellow diamond marker on the far tree down the way, and there's a cairn right there below it. So we have to aim for that. So after that ford, we were in the trees for about 100 meters, came back out to the gravel flats, and there's another yellow marker. More bear poop. Here's some recent trail maintenance. Whoever did that, thank you. We're just coming up on the junction with the South Esk Lake Trail. Cairn River campsite is about 200 meters, as the sign says. We still have to ford the Cairn River to get to the campsite. There's the campground sign over there, so yep, we do have to ford this. Here's the view from camp in the fading light of the day. Impressive view of Mount Dalhousie. Mount Dalhousie is about 2,950 meters or about 9,660 feet. Pretty impressive mountain. Great view from here. So we're just about to do dinner and get a campfire going. And tomorrow, much longer day. I think it was 12.8 kilometers today. Tomorrow, I think about 20K. So a quick wrap up to today. We're now sitting in Cairn River Campground. Pretty nice spot right along the river. Really windy, so it's going to be a cool night. A great day today. The weather was really good. I think we forded the Cairn River 7 times. We don't mind fords, you know. It's kind of interesting. Once you get the feet dry again, they feel like $1 million. They really do. We're just about to have dinner, and tomorrow's going to be a long day, challenging day. Looking forward to the day, though. It should be a great day tomorrow. So after dinner, we'll get some hot chocolates and the fire going and sit around the fire for a bit, and then we'll call it a night, and we'll see you in the morning. Good morning, it's day 4, Wednesday morning. It's a beautiful morning, but it rained last night for probably an hour or two. And it is +2 right now, so about 35 Fahrenheit. It's cool. And we think there's a little new dusting of snow up there on Mount Dalhousie. So about a kilometer south of Cairn River Campground now, we're fully into the South Esk burn. This was a fire that took place in 2006. And it's not bad walking. I mean, there's, you know, obviously lots of down timber, but you can literally just step over them as you walk. You don't really have to stop and climb over them. So far, not too bad. I'm guessing it's going to get worse. So these lodgepole pines are now 15 years old. And it's great to see how the forest regenerates itself. So yesterday I was going to mention that Trent and I got lost just for a bit. I'm an old map guy. I don't have GPS on this hike, so we got lost once for a few minutes, not long, 5 or 10 minutes, but we had to climb up from the river to find the trail. So literally had to bushwhack straight up the hill. And we thought of a new piece of exercise equipment. So we're going to call it the Bushwhacker. And we're going to bring it out in a novice, intermediate, and pro model. The pro model is just going to be loaded to the nuts. It's going to have everything. It's going to have bushes and leaves falling down on you, branches scraping your face, and just an overall great workout. We're going to make so much money. Check out this morning view. This is the South Esk River, and we're going to be following this for the rest of the morning. We're going to eventually cross it on a suspension bridge and then head towards South Esk campsite and a break there, and then we'll continue on to Isaac Creek where we'll spend the night. So we've come to what I think is just a little tributary stream into the Cairn, and you can see a little rock cairn there. And then if you look up the slope, you can see the trail angling up to the right, and you can see orange flagging on that tree. So that's the way we go up along this ridge. What a great view. So this is the South Esk River, and we come up the slope from that crossing. You can see orange flagging down there. There's a yellow diamond marker over on the far side of this chasm. So we're aiming for that. So I think when we came to the Cairn River, or the South Esk River down there, that was probably a horse ford. And with lower water levels, maybe we could have done that and gone to the west side of the river all the way to the suspension bridge, but I just don't see how we could do that. There's a lot of water in that river. So we're going to continue along the east side here. Trent's working his way over toward the yellow diamond marker. So plenty of signs here. Yellow marker up high. Old sign underneath it. Who knows what that said? Maybe a map, I don't know. And then the footbridge sign leading towards the South Esk suspension bridge.
This is why JJ and I come out here. This is absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous.
Trent was just commenting on the fact that this is why we hike, and we were also just talking off camera that this might be top 10. I think it is top 10 as far as views go that we've ever experienced. What a beautiful day. Obviously the weather helps. If it was pouring rain, well, it would probably suck, but this is fantastic. Just keep looking for the yellow markers. And Trent and I have put additional orange flagging along this route as well. And there was some already, so I'm guessing that was from last year, 2020. We've just come out of the trees, and now we've entered what looks like a seismic line. So we're gonna find the trail here, and then we're gonna head down to the bridge over the South Esk River and take a break. Okay, here we go. More signage to the south towards the bridge. What a view. And there is the bridge down below. That's our target for the next few minutes. Glad to see it's still there. Can you imagine the forest fire raging through here in 2006? Wow. There's another Warden patrol cabin off in the distance, but we have a long day today, so we're not going to go visit it. There's the trail sign up ahead, so we'll follow that. And here's another view looking back. Wind is just howling. Hopefully you can hear me. We're just coming up now on the suspension bridge over the South Esk River. We'll take a short break here. Nice to see the bridge is still here.
Maybe we should fill up water.
And right past the bridge, follow the sign up. And from what I remember, we gotta follow a faint trail upwards and then over to the left toward the warden cabin. Just keep looking for yellow diamond markers. That ain't horse poop. Looks like we're coming up on the junction sign, and this will be to South-Est Camp. So we're going to stop here for a break. Another nice surprise on the South Boundary Trail. That is horse poop. We spent the last few minutes in the trees, great trail. Pine needles underfoot, nice walking. Come out to this view of the mountain range to the south and Tarpeian Rock across the valley there. So we're getting closer to Isaac Creek campsite, and we'll have to ford the creek just before the campsite. I believe those are called rose hips. And on the trail right now, this week, there's not much for berries. Apparently the berry crop failed this summer. Probably because of the 40 Celsius weather. And so I don't know what the bears are eating right now. It's in September, so normally they'd be feasting on berries, but there's not much around here. This is why we yell, "Hey bear!" We yell at unsuspecting tree roots. Came around the curve and saw this, and at first glance thought, that's a pretty big bear. This is the archway to Isaac Creek campsite. So we're coming to the gravel flats at Isaac Creek. Now we just got to figure out where to go to find the campground on the far side. So again, look for cairns. That's been our go-to for the past several days. And we'll see where we end up. Now, I know there's a yellow diamond marker on the far side leading to the campsite. And if we can find that guy, we know where we are. We've come to this cairn, and now what we're gonna do, we're gonna ford these channels. There's, I think 4 of them. And we're gonna, there's some markings on the tree across the way there. If you can see that. So we're going to aim to the right of that and come out somewhere over there on the other side, and hopefully that's where the yellow diamond marker is for the campsite. Whoa, that's cool. Well, we found it. That took a little bit of work. We forded back 50 meters back and went straight in. Could not find any trail. Bushwhacked to the right, bushwhacked to the left. Came back out on the river, and now we found the yellow marker. So way over to the left of where we forded. We have arrived. Well, end of another great day on the trail. The views along the South Esk River, fantastic. Trent and I were talking up there on the ridge, and in our minds, top 10 in all the hikes that we've done. Outstanding views. Really windy up there on the ridge, but didn't matter. And then a little tricky up at the top when we went out of Jasper National Park for a few minutes to find the trail, but kind of a mishmash of quad trails up there, and then we just kept to the south, saw the bridge below, and then crossed over the South Esk River suspension bridge, and then made our way up to South Esk Camp. So 2019, Stuart Howe, check out his YouTube channel, How's the Hike. Great channel, check it out. He and his daughter hiked the South Boundary Trail 2019. And I think what they faced was a much more difficult challenge. We saw a lot of yellow markers today that looked pretty much brand new, if not this year, last year, and that was really, really helpful. I don't think Stuart and his daughter had that benefit when they came through here 2 years ago. The hike from South Esk Camp to Isaac Creek, mainly through the trees, but some nice views periodically. We didn't leave camp till 9:30. We got to the South Esk River Bridge about 1:45, so just over 3 hours. So the trail was much better than I thought it would be. This hike, I'm going to be honest, it is becoming my favorite hike in my 40 plus years of hiking. It's got everything. Of course, it's got the river ford. We had, I think, 7 yesterday. It's got the views. It's got the remoteness. It's got some pretty neat campsites. It's got a little of everything. We're gonna have some mushroom risotto and then some cinnamon apple crisp, get a fire going, and we'll see you in the morning. Good morning, it's day 5, it's Thursday. The crossing the ford in just before the campsite yesterday was a little tricky finding the campsite. And what we did was we followed the cairn. There was a cairn in the middle before the ford, and we crossed there. And in hindsight, I think that cairn lines up with the yellow diamond marker on the far side from where you come out of the trees. If we'd followed that in a line, we would have seen the yellow diamond marker. Instead, we went to the cairn, we crossed right across that. If I'm industrious, maybe I'll put up a crude sketch of that on the video. Anyway, today we're hiking along the Brazeau River, pretty much a forest walk today, so we have a long day today, 28.2 kilometers to Brazeau Lake campsite. And it depends on the weather, depends on how we're feeling. It's a long day, so we may stop and camp at Brazeau River campsite, which is 2 kilometers short of Brazeau Lake. That would make tomorrow a bit longer, but oh well. So we'll just see how the day goes. We're probably half a kilometer out from Isaac Creek campsite. Here's a sign of some fairly recent trail maintenance. You can see the cuttings on the floor of the valley here and the logs cut. Somebody's not happy, or he's just saying hello. We're coming up on a trail junction with a horse trail down below, and we will stay up to the right through the trees. There's a little bit of a pond down below. I don't know if you can see it or not. So we've rejoined the main hiking trail, or the main trail. The horse trail has come up from below, and we should be getting close to the Arrête Warden cabin. Can you smell that? That's rotten eggs. That's a sulfury smelling pond off to the right here, just beside the trail. Ugh. We're coming up on the Arrête patrol cabin, and what a great spot this is. So we're gonna take a short break, sit on the front porch, if there is one. Wow, what a great spot. I guess if you're going to build a warden cabin, this would be a good place. We're just loading up on some water and then we're going to continue west towards a Ret campsite and then on to Brazeau Lake campsite where we'll camp tonight. This is what the root system of a large tree looks like. Most of the time we're in the valley walking through the trees, but once in a while you bust out of the trees and you get a view like this. This is the Brazeau River Valley. And this is Hole in the Wall Springs, also known as Big Springs, coming right off that cliff. Start of fencing usually means a warden cabin coming up, and I think the Brazeau River patrol cabin is up ahead. This is the patrol cabin at Brazeau River. Complete with a front yard. And it must be the feed because there's looks like electric fencing around the walls there to keep the grizzlies out. Here's the view from the front porch. Looks like a bear ripped apart the book, October 1992. How cool is this? March 3rd, 1978, March 4th, 1978. So this is the unofficial end of the South Boundary Trail. This bridge goes over the Brazeau River to the Brazeau River Campground. This sign shows Brazeau Lake Campground, John Campground, which we'll pass by tomorrow, Pobocton Pass, which we'll pass over tomorrow, and then on our way out to Waterfalls Campground, and then the vehicle in a couple of days. Okay, it's early evening, Brazeau Lake campsite, and such a great campsite. Trent and I arrived a few minutes ago, set the tent up, and we're just about to do dinner. It was a cool day, a long day. I think Trent and I did 28K today, 28 kilometers. That's about 17 miles. It was a good day, valley walking, a lot of valley walking, a lot of walking through the trees, but when it busted out of the trees, there were some fantastic views along the Brazeau River, and some great views from the 2 warden cabins that we stopped at. Overall, a good day, just a tiring day. So we're gonna get some supper going, some dessert, and probably call it a night. I don't think we'll even have a campfire tonight. So we'll see you in the morning. Good morning, it's day 6, it's Friday, and we are cold. It was a cold night. I think the forecast was -7 last night, and it felt like it. It's -1 right now. We got another long day today. This is the 3rd one in a row, 25 kilometers, or about 16 miles, up over Pobocton Pass, and then down to Waterfalls Campground tonight. So the first stop will be John campsite. We'll stop there for a break. We'll go up over the pass and then down to Jonas Cutoff Campground. We'll stop there for a break, and then we'll continue on down Pobocton Creek to Waterfalls Campsite. Interesting night last night. I woke up middle of the night to a loud crashing noise. I thought at first it was thunder, and then realized it was a tree that had fallen down on the edge of the campsite. So that was that was interesting. I will go find the likely culprit. We think we found the culprit. And our tent site is just over here, about 10 meters. Let's walk back down to the lake, show you the campsite. Lockers all over there, tables. It's a great site. We're just boiling up some water for breakfast, and then we'll get going. This is Brazeau Lake. Somebody's put a stump out there to soak their little tootsies. You can't see all of it from here, but Brazeau Lake is one of the larger lakes in the backcountry. Not many backcountry campsites have a horseshoe pitch. We're gonna go check out the privy at Brazeau Lake campsite just before we head out. The privy is usually, I don't know, 50 meters, 100 meters from the tents. So it's a bit of a walk. A little bit of landscaping. And it's one of those green space capsule privies. I forgot to show you the occupied sign for the privy. Do not disturb. Looks like this was put in by the Flying Trail crew 2020. This table over here is from '94. The food lockers are new, so 2020. This table over here, 2020. And these tables down here, 2020. Nice work. So this bridge was built by the Flying Trail crew, 2009. And pretty amazing work what these people can do. So right after crossing the bridge over the Brazeau outlet stream, you have a short, steep climb up around the lake. So I got the old oximeter out. It's a steep, I forgot about this. I've hiked this loop twice. Trent's hiked it once. This is part of the Brazeau loop, and it's a fantastic loop. If you've never done it, you can start and end over Nigel Pass, or you can start and end at Pobocton Creek Trailhead. That's where we're heading tomorrow. And it's a great loop, best done in probably 4 nights. Great scenery, beautiful scenery. There is some vertical, couple of passes, but it's a really, really good hike. This is a rock slide that happened, I think, back in the 1930s. And just out of interest, the trail that Trent and I are hiking on now was constructed in 1920 and 1921. So 100 years ago, this trail was created. And we're still up above the lake. We're about to climb a bit higher, and the views will get better as we go. Here's a bit more of Brazeau Lake. The color of the water is created by glacial silt. It's suspended in the water. Not bad. That ain't horse poop. Woody woodpecker. Busy on this one. We're climbing now up through the John Creek Valley towards John campsite for a break. So we've reached John campground. Check out the work here. Trent and I figure this stuff was done sometime this year, sometime this summer. Who knows? I mean, maybe just a few days ago. So we're going to take a short break here, and then we'll continue up over Pobocton Pass. We are making our way up some switchbacks right now on the climb up to Pobocton Pass, and we're leaving John Creek Valley. And I don't know exactly where the name came from, but I seem to recall reading about a warden named John McGilvery back in the early 1900s who worked out here, so perhaps that was his nickname, John. So that's Flat Ridge across the valley, I guess because it's flat. And we're nearing tree line. You can see that we're just about level with tree line across the valley, so we should be getting to the open meadows of Pobocton Pass shortly. Trent and I have noticed a few large holes along the trail, and This could be from a hoary marmot colony, although we have not heard any noise from them or seen any of them, so who knows what happened to them. Maybe a grizzly bear came along and wiped them out, who knows. Looks like a pretty new sign. This is Pobocton Pass, 2,300 meters. This is the highest point on our hike. And the rest of the way is all downhill. Downhill. Here's where we've come from. And here's where we're heading. And unfortunately, the snow up here has melted onto the trail. So for the most part, we're not walking on the actual trail itself. It's muddy, slippery. So we're walking alongside the trail, which slows us down. What the heck is this for? So that's the valley that we're heading towards, Pobocton Creek Valley. And we're heading down now from Pobocton Pass. So this is our first good view of Pobocton Creek, and we're going to follow this all the way out to the highway. There's a cool mushroom right on the trail. We've seen mushrooms for the past 6 days. Lots of mushrooms on this trail. This is what the trail is becoming. Between Jonas Cutoff Campground and where we're going, Waterfalls. As we get closer to Waterfalls Campground, we are passing by this patrol cabin with some waterfalls. We have arrived. Yeah, Waterfalls Campground. So we're gonna set up the tent real quick and get into some drier clothes and get supper going. I'm just going to show you Winter Wonderland before we call it a night here. So long, tough day today. 25 kilometers, I think about 16 miles. Pobocton Pass was tough at the top. It got really muddy from the snow that obviously they've had in the past, I think about a week or two ago they had some. And it's just melted. The trail was all mud. So that slowed us right down. We didn't get into camp here till 7 o'clock, and we got the tent set up real quick. It's already covered in snow, and we're cooking dinner under some trees here. The table would have been nice, but oh well. And we have 12 kilometers to walk out tomorrow morning to the car on the Icefields Parkway at the parking lot there. So about, I don't know, 7 or 8 miles. So we'll see how it goes. We're going to skip breakfast in the morning and just start walking. It's going to be a tough walk, obviously, with the snow on the ground. So we're going to call it a night. We'll talk to you in the morning. Good morning. It's day 7, Saturday. Time to leave. It snowed into the evening, and then sometime through the night quit snowing, but rained all night. And the tent did its job. A little bit wet on the inside though. Maybe more from condensation, I don't know. We're gonna skip breakfast and we are out of here. Looks like puke and poop. We're just passing by Pobocton Campground and still on our way down to Pobocton Trailhead. 7.6 kilometers. The trail is a mess. in one of my hiking books, and it would have been, I think, published in the late 70s, early 80s. I think it was called 94 Hikes or 95 Hikes in the Canadian Rockies, and it described this trail, and I think, if I remember right, it was wet and boggy, and things haven't changed in 40 years. Now, mind you, with the snow and the rain that we had last night, I think any trail would be wet and boggy and a mess, but I think under normal circumstances, there's certain areas, certain spots on this trail, it would just be a mess because they're kind of low, they have rocks and roots in them, and just a lot of water. Trent and I had to go sideways 6 or 8 feet to get around it. Kind of reminded us of hiking the West Coast Trail, same thing, or the Wet Coast Trail. So as we get closer to the end of the trail, I thought it was time for a joke. So a madam at a brothel in New Orleans opens the door to find a rather good-looking, sharp-dressed man, probably in his late 40s, early 50s. And she says, "Can I help you, sir?" And he says, "Yes, I'm here to see Valerie." And she says, "Sir, Valerie is one of our most expensive girls. Would you like someone else?" And he says, "No, I'm here to see Valerie." So the madam goes to get Valerie, brings her back, introduces her to the gentleman. Off they go, they do their thing. An hour later, the man leaves. The next night, the man shows up at the brothel again. And the madam says, "Sir, there is no discount here 2 nights in a row." And he says, "I don't care, I want Valerie." So she goes to get Valerie, comes back. Valerie and the gentleman go do their thing. An hour later, the man leaves. The next night, the man shows up at the brothel again. And he says, "I'm here to see Valerie again." And the madam says, "Sir, no one has ever been with Valerie 3 nights in a row. Are you sure you want to do this?" And he said, "Yes, I'm positive. I want Valerie." So the madam goes to get Valerie. Valerie comes from the back, meets the gentleman. They go do their thing. An hour later, they're getting dressed. Valerie says to the gentleman, "3 nights in a row. Wow, that's really impressive. Where are you from?" He says, "I'm from St. Louis." She looks at him and laughs and says, "Huh, that's funny. I've got family in St. Louis." And he says, "Yes, I know. Your sister passed away. I'm her attorney, and she asked me to give you your $30,000 inheritance." Well, we're coming up on the Sunwapta Warden Center, and you can see the highway bridge in the distance over there. This will mark the end of our journey. It has been a real adventure. Loved well, maybe not every minute of it, but loved it. This is such a great trail. Hopefully you'll hike it. So what a great adventure. 130 kilometers, 80 miles, 1 week of real adventure. It was awesome. I loved it. As Stuart Howe said in his video from 2019, hike the trail. It's got to be hiked. You know, if nothing else, to show Parks Canada that the trail is popular to some degree and should be hiked. Great views, great scenery. Just walking over the highway bridge now back to the parking lot. The Fords, Fords are always interesting. I think we had 7 one day, probably 15 in total. Interesting campsites. It was nice to have campfires pretty much every night. We didn't the last 2 nights. We didn't see anybody on the trail after Sunday night at Medicine Tent. All in all, a great trip. I highly recommend it. I hope you can get out there and hike it sometime. I want to thank Trent for hiking along with me.
Glad to be here.
I want to thank you for hiking along with us. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, smash it. and share it with your friends. Let them know that you hiked this trail with us, and subscribe for the next video. Well, I thought I'd give you a little intro on this one. 4 days ago would have been, and it was illegal, and that it was subject to, we'll leave our vehicle on and subject to up to a $25,000 fine from this park. I want to thank Trent for hiking along with us.